This totally went under my radar. Introducing Starcoder-2. This is the most complete open source coding large language model, coming out with three variants: 3 billion, 7 billion, and 15 billion parameter models. This is the next iteration of Starcoder, and it has been trained on 600 plus programming languages on over 4 trillion tokens with their new dataset, which is called Stacked version 2. It's something that outperforms many coding large language models and has the best overall performance across many benchmarks. Now, I want to note something important, that although DeepSeek Coder's 33 billion parameter model is the best performing at code completion for high resource languages, the evaluation metrics, however, find that Starcoder-2's 50 billion parameter model is something that can outperform it on math and coding reasoning benchmarks, as well as many several low-code resource languages. And this is quite good to see in my opinion. Now, just take a look at the Big Code Models leaderboard. This is a leaderboard which is comparing the performance of models' coding capabilities across different benchmarks, as well as showcasing the win rate that represents how good the model actually does in comparison to other models in different languages. And we can clearly see that the kings over here are the DeepSeek Code models as well as the Code Llama models. And if we are to scroll down, we can see that the Starcoder-2 15 billion parameter model does a quite well job in comparison to these larger models like Code Llama as well as Wizard Coder. Even though it might be tailing behind these larger models, it does a great job with its small parameter size in comparison to these larger parameter size models. What an amazing year for the private Discord. For simply being a Patreon, we offered 9 paid subscriptions completely for free since the start of this year, which only has been 2 months. These plans add up to $700 and more if you are to individually purchase them. We've had insane partnerships with big AI companies, giving out subscriptions to AI tools and frameworks completely for free, like DeFi, NVIDIA, and many others. These are tools that will streamline your business's growth and improve your efficiency with AI. Not only do you access these subscriptions, but you also gain the ability to get daily AI resources, AI news, consulting, networking opportunities, collaborating with the community, as well as with myself. If you're interested in elevating your AI game, highly recommend that you take a look at the Patreon link in the description below and join today. This is something that you should definitely not miss out, so definitely take a look at this. Now, throughout today's video, we're going to be exploring this new Starcoder-2 model further in detail by exploring its capabilities, showcase the benchmark scores, and how you can actually install it locally. So with that thought, guys, stay tuned and let's get straight into the video. If you would like to book a one-on-one with me where you can access my consulting services, where I can help you grow your business or basically give you a lot of different types of solutions with AI, definitely take a look at the calendar link in the description below. Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the World of AI. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Starcoder-2, which is built by Big Code. Now, this is a new iteration of their Starcoder ecosystem, and it's a series of new open source large language models, and they're designed for basic coding tasks. It comes with 3 variations. You have the 3 billion parameter model, you have the 7 billion parameter model, as well as the 15 billion parameter model. Now, this is the flagship model, which is the Starcoder-2 15 billion parameter model, which has been trained over 4 trillion tokens, which are sourced from 600 plus coding languages. And this is from their new dataset, which they have just recently released, which is the Stacked version 2 dataset. Now, all of these models that they've developed utilize the grouped query attention, and this is a context window of, I believe, 16k tokens, and its sliding window of attention is around 4,000 tokens. And overall, they trained using the fill in the middle objective. Now, this new coding large language model might not be able to put up the best scores, but its dataset is really something that you should take a look at. This is the Stacked version 2 dataset, which is the most extensive open source dataset tailored for pre-training large language models. It does quite well in terms of its quality because they have this new licensing detection method and improved filtering dataset. And this is where they've worked alongside with Software Heritage, which is a public archive. And this public archive is containing different sorts of software source code as well as deployment history. And it's something I'm going to take a look at in their research paper because they showcase how they are able to gather the data set or the data for their data set Now, this software heritage archive is serving as the foundation for the stacked v2 dataset. Now, what they have done is that they have collected and safeguarded all the source code knowledge from it. And they basically utilize the SH graph dataset, which is able to link file identifiers, source code directories, as well as git commits. And you can see that with this graph over here. This is the extraction process, which involves retrieving recent versions of GitHub repositories as well as filtering them to keep only the main branches. They also focus on duplicating based on unique content. Now, they have a license assignment logic that follows a defined algorithm. This is able to categorize files as well as licenses. And you can see over here that they stated that they find all files that could contain a license using regular expressions in the appendix. And this allows to gather files that either explicitly contain a license, whether that's from MIT, a TXT file, Apache 2.0, or contain a reference to that license, which is a README file or guidelines. And this allows it to filter through different repositories as well as different license assignment logics. Now, here is a bar graph which is comparing different benchmarks in the code completion category. And this is regards of comparing Starcoder-2's 15 billion parameter model to different models that are relative in comparison to its original size. And we can see that they have compared it against DeepSeek Coder's 7 billion parameter model, CodeLlama's 13 billion, as well as the original Starcoder 15 billion parameter model. In most cases, in different evaluation and benchmarks, we can see that on human eval, the model does quite decent, which is the Starcoder 2 billion model, but the DeepSeek Coder 7 billion parameter model is able to outperform it. But in other cases, it does a great job in outperforming these other models. And it's something that we can see with the 3 billion parameter model, as well as comparing the Starcoder 2 15 billion parameter model versus the 33 billion parameter model. And it does quite good in comparison to CodeLlama as well as DeepSeek Coder. But obviously, it's not able to outperform it in most cases. But in terms of math as well as code completion, it does quite well, which is great to see. Now, if you're interested in playing around with these models, you can do so as they have uploaded all the models on their model card list. And you can simply just go over to LM Studio, type in Starcoder 2, and click enter, and you're going to be able to download these models by just simply downloading the model with a different quant method. And once you have done that, you can then head over to conversations, load this model up, and start chatting with it within LM Studio. Human eval, MBPP, as well as eval plus are widely used benchmarks for evaluating code large language models. Now, each of them comprise several hundred programming problems, and they test these models on them. In regards to human eval, they're able to provide a prompt with function signatures as well as doc strings along with a hidden unit test, while with the MBP test, they were able to offer natural language descriptions of problems that are followed by tests. Now, in this case, they were able to identify shortcomings in these benchmarks, including insufficient tests as well as ambiguous descriptions. So, what they've done to address these issues with their model is that they've introduced this eval plus framework, which is resulting in benchmarks with significantly more tests, as well as a study which showcases that it has adopted a rigorous evaluation metric. And after using this eval plus framework, they showed the results and it demonstrated that the Starcoder 2 3 billion parameter model did quite well, and it was actually the best performing small model on all the datasets, whether that's human eval, MBPP, you have human eval plus, as well as MBPP plus. And they stated that the model is significantly better than its predecessor, which is Starcoder based 3 billion parameter model. And in regards to the Starcoder 2 7 billion parameter model, it came second place on medium models. This is in comparison to the DeepSeek Coder's 6.7 billion parameter model, as well as many of the others in that category. Now, if we go to the Starcoder 2 15 billion parameter model, this is actually the best performing large language model by a significant margin. And they stated that it scores 46.3, whereas CodeLlama's 13 billion parameter model scores a 37.8 on human eval. So it's quite great to see that this new Starcoder 2 15 billion parameter model is able to do quite well and compare up against to larger models that are in the 30 billion parameter scope. Now, they tested this model on various benchmarks and they have a lot of different metrics, which showcases its performance. So if you're interested in this, take a look at the research paper, which goes a little bit more in depth on it. Once they do have released a demo online, I'm going to be taking a look at it so I can show you guys more performance evaluations of it. So with that thought, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some sort of value out of it. I'm going to leave all these links in the description below so that you can access it fairly easily. Make sure you follow us on the Patreon so you can stay up to date with the latest AI resources, collaborations, as well as gaining access to subscriptions completely for free. Make sure you follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. This is a great way for you to stay up to date with the latest AI news. And lastly, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.